So, hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how you can leverage a large language model like ChatGPT or if you see on my screen, Claude Sonnet 3.7 to rapidly create clear, detailed prompts for your prototyping apps. So Bolt.new, Lovable, Ready.ai, and I believe I shared Firebase Studio are all rapid prototyping apps. But by leveraging something like ChatGPT, one of their models, or Claude Sonnet, to give it context and to write the prompt, you can get a much better result out of those platforms. So I am going to show you, we have a Modus project in our internal project development. I basically went in and found this, and now I'm going to go to Claude. And I'm asking Claude, I'm giving it a system role. So I'm asking it to write a prompt for Bolt.new. And I'm telling it that I want to prototype an idea for an app. And the reason that I want to prototype it is so that I can get quick feedback from solution design. And I also want to validate the hypothesis that this app would be useful in the conference market space. So everything that I've taken from the project, I'm just going to put in here. And I am listing out post MVP features. The reason that I'm keeping those in is because, again, I want to give the LLM as much context as possible for where the app is going to go. So I'm giving Claude a bunch of information, and then I'm going to hit go and have it write the prompt for me. And then I'm going to take that and put it into Bolt.new. So while it's doing this, I'll let Brett talk for a second about what he's going to do on Lovable.
Yeah, so I'll be using Lovable AI. So the idea is we're both going to use the same type of prompt and same type of material and try two different apps out here with you on the same time, just to show the differences between the two. So I'll be taking the same content here that's being generated here from Claude, and we'll put that into Lovable, and then we'll see the comparison of the two, and just trying the two apps out, giving feedback. I know Kai has used both of these before. I'm a newbie to either one of these before, so that's also good perspectives to see. So yeah, it'll be fun to walk through them.
Okay. All right. So now I've got my prompt that I'm just going to hit copy on. And again, the prompt is going to tell Bolt.new exactly what to create. What are the core features? What are the design requirements? What user flows I need? And then any other notes. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Bolt. And then I'm just going to paste it here. And the pound signs that you see there are really typical in a markdown file. I'm going to use those because both LLMs understand those and know how those break down in a typical markdown file. So I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to remove those. It's fine. The AI can read it. And then I'm just going to let Bolt go. Bolt has two different layouts to it. So you can either get into the terminal or you can stay in like the agentic kind of prompt interface and watch it sort of do everything that it's going to do.
Okay, so I will do the same here now with Lovable. I put in the same request, building an app with Lovable.dev to prototype an idea, same details that Kai put in. So now I'll do the same here. So the tools work essentially the same. Prompt, and then to create an app. So they're both loading at the moment. I think Kai's is much further down the line here. And so yeah,
So
for Lovable, it's saying, kind of I gave the prompt and yes, I'd love to help, and gives all that response here. Based on your requirements, I'm envisioning a modern, intuitive interface and kind of describing the apps like Eventbrite, Schedule, Wova, and all those others. So, and it tells what the first version it'll build. It started telling me all these things and then just went ahead and started doing it. So it's all good. Wasn't necessarily looking for confirmation, but yeah.
all right, and it looks like Bolt is done. So I'm always curious to see how these things play out. And so we just have an app. And again, Bolt is going to confirm that the conference app prototype provides a complete interactive experience with smooth animations and a professional design. Users can navigate between tabs to access all the key information, filter the schedule by day, and track mark sessions as favorites, all of which were features that we put into the prompt. and learn about speakers through detailed profiles, and that the app demonstrates session filtering, favorites management, and intuitive navigation patterns that would be essential for any conference attendee. All right, so Bolt ran through my prompt, um, took in all of my requirements, my core features, my design elements, everything that I specified that I needed. Again, I'm just going to jump back really quickly to how I asked Claude to help me write a prompt based on the project summary in here and what I needed to solve, why I needed to do it, how we were going to judge success, what were some post MVP options. And I gave Claude the context of where I was going to use this prompt in and why I needed it and what hypothesis I needed to validate. And so Bolt has taken all of that in. And we did have one problem with the syntax error. I asked Bolt to fix it and to remember what happened last time so that the next time, if I'm refining anything in this particular app, it will remember that error and then not reproduce it again, hopefully. And now we can see the preview of our Tech Connect 2025 app that features announcements. There is a nav bar with a home and a schedule. We did specify a favoriting options and then being able to look at speakers and their profiles, which are all within here. So it did a fairly good job, and I 100% would recommend anytime that you are going to use one of these rapid prototyping apps or interfaces to open up Claude or ChatGPT, go to one of the models, and then give it the system role that you want it to be a prompt engineer and give it the context of where you're writing the prompt for and why you want it. Brett, how is Lovable doing?
Yeah, let me go over check Lovable. Yeah. Okay, so for Lovable, yeah, it again they went through this is what it said it was going to build and design and everything similar. Again, I fed it the same prompt information that Kai did for Bolt. So this is the app here. It does look a little bit different how it shows the layout here, but very, I mean, so similar, I guess, shows upcoming sessions here. So it didn't have like the notification situation as like the first page. So as the other one, so it's just slightly different. Oh, I'm losing Kai on the video there. Hold on, I want to keep you on my screen, Kai. There you go.
Okay.
Uh,
That's okay.
somehow.
My piece isn't important.
Okay. All right. So yeah, going through and then the schedule here has a schedule tab. So it looks like it is by a track or whatever, interesting, and day. Um, you can heart and favorite things, okay, based on the different schedule of the conference favorites. Okay, so if I were to favorite it, see how that
My
works there
favorite tab.
too.
What's underneath your more? Because that's not something that Bolt put
Yeah,
in. So I'm
it
wondering
did not. Yeah.
what Lovable put in your more.
More about the app. Called it Event Glow, is what it called it. Event Glow conference. Ooh, it's
I would
glowing.
go to that.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Sounds
So
like quite the rave party in San Francisco. Let's go. All right. Yeah.
it does. Let's all go to Event Glow.
That's great.
Basics for everyone.
Yes. Yeah, conference map. Looks like there'd be a map. Okay, well, that could be interesting. And then just other announcements, venue information, frequently. So it's basically more of that like support tab. I want like
Oh,
not like
nice. Okay.
profile, I guess you'd say. There's not a profile here, but you could argue that's almost like what this other more is. So yeah. So very interesting how it didn't do it. It didn't give me, I don't think, any other issues that it's showing up. Doesn't mean there's not like a bug or issue trying to use it, but I know like yours on Bolt Kai was showing some like issues that it found at first, and then it was working through those issues, right?
Good.
From Bolt. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
love that.
interesting. It doesn't. It's not as. I'll say like here. What I liked about Bolt, especially if you're using this as a prototype, at least on this one, was like here it doesn't have any like images, which maybe that's not as big of a deal, but like it yeah, on Bolt it helps sell it a little bit better. Like oh, see a speaker, a speaker. I can imagine a
Yeah.
face here, I guess, but it's not there. The favorites tab, I had to click one, which is fine, but it didn't maybe already kind of just click some or show some. And some of this is like that's obviously a bug, but it didn't call it out. Where Bolt did say
Right.
there was a problem. I can see there's a bug. It's not saying there's a bug over here, but I can see there is one. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's some things where the nice on the more. was kind of neat, interesting, and it looks pretty still slick and stuff, but it doesn't quite have it filled out or catching its own bugs, which is interesting, I
Yeah.
guess.
And
So,
yeah, you're right. I think the difference, and I think Bolt just had a little bit more, like it already had sample favorites filled in, but yours showed an
hmm
empty state. And then for speakers, right, there were sample headshots along with people's names and their titles and roles, which kind of helped you envision. On your speakers, is there a search bar so that you
yeah,
can
that's a good
search
question. Let's
for the
see
speakers?
here. No,
No,
that
okay.
would be
So
this is a nice
yeah.
nice feature that you have on yours. Yep.
So
hmm
on mine, there is. And I guess, right, if either you or I were going to take this further, we would probably look in both platforms at the things that it's missed, address those in the
hmm
sub prompts. And then I would probably go back to the well again with Claude Sonnet
hmm
or open up Chat GPT and say, this is the information that I got. I need it to pay attention to filling in FPO headshots, putting in
hmm
a search net bar for the speakers, and then probably go in and look at some of those post MVP features to see like what it might fill out. But really good overall like dive into how you and I are both
Yeah.
using LLMs to work with other LLMs.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
asking a native speaker how you want to speak, how they want to be spoken to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've found with these platforms that it's you get a much better result quicker if you use like a Chat GPT or a Claude Sonnet or one
hmm
of the other LLMs to structure your prompt
Yeah,
first.
that was a great idea. Yeah, I've seen that. I was just telling Kai before we started here. I saw that on a few other videos, people showing talking about AI apps. Like this is a great way to get started. And yes, I agree. Like from what you just showed here, Kai, that is a great way to do it because I can easily do in my own. It's very simple procedure. Whereas you can still spit out an app, but it's not as good as if I would have just taken a little bit of time to have Claude or something really engineer it much better than it would have come up with initially. So yeah, I agree. And I like the idea that of doing, even if I know we're just testing it out to kind of show these two apps and how it could show two different prototypes, but I do like the idea of even if you were going to do this, doing it in two different apps because you get two different perspectives. And right here, we both saw something we like this out of this one, and we like this one out of this one, and then now mine just disappeared. There it is. Okay, but we like it how there's certain things we liked out of each of them, which is really how good prototyping and ideation works. It like it's not just one idea in a silo that's good. You find things out of each of them that are good, and then you get to something that is a good refined prototype that you're looking for. So I like the idea of finding things out of both apps. So yeah, and then like you said, iterating on it, further refining
Right,
there. So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's almost like, almost
hmm
I think Joao did a video on like the three experts, right? But this is now, two different prototyping platforms and then their different perspectives on the same prompt information. So we didn't
Yeah.
change anything from one to the other. We, told it what style we wanted and again, like
hmm
different color schemes, some different functionality. And I think there are awesome parts to both of them. Yeah. So I would probably look at both of them and then incorporate the feedback and take it a little
hmm
further.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for
Sounds
doing this
good.
with me.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Kai. This is fun. I would look forward to
So
doing more. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Sounds good.
follow up on the Brett and Kai Loom series of us testing stuff out and having
Yeah,
fun in the afternoons.
exactly. Sounds good. All
All
right.
right.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.